Welcome to The Rock. We hope what you watched today inspires you. And we'd love to hear your questions and comments via Twitter at The Rock of York. You can also find us on Facebook or contact us through the website at www.rockofyork.co.uk. In the meantime, let's crack on.
right, good evening, big warm welcome. Thank you for being here. I was at the piano singing before I came tonight. It's a new season. It's a new day. The fresh mercies are flowing my way. It's a day of power and prosperity. It's a new season. It's a new day. We have observed and looked at some things and felt we want to reshape a little bit who we are as a house, who we are as a people, to better address what it is that we're trying to accomplish on every front that we have been gifted to operate. And so tonight will be a lot about trying to convey some of that to you. It's not in the sense of, we are going to do this by that date or we're planning to plant this. It's about the spirit from which everything will emanate. So we're going to move things along real quickly tonight and then got some things to share with you. And a little later on, we are going to come to where Jesus called his disciples, which wasn't a temple, it was a table. And so we're going to come to that a little later on. So I just want to pray a blessing over you, and then I'm going to let Chris share some things, and then I'll wrap a few things up on that, and we'll see where we get. Is that okay? We've even got the blinds up. Sometimes it's good just to change things about so that, because we get so locked in what's familiar, we actually psychologically need things that go, that's different, okay? So we've done lots of things just to try and help that process along, because we want you to listen, observe, embrace tonight, and let's move on. So Father, I just pray a blessing over everybody who's here today. Because not only are you no respecter of person, but you are not influenced by the bad things we do or the good things we do, but you give out of your mercy and your grace and your abundant riches. So I thank you today, most of all, that every single person of every age, of every creed, of every gender in this place tonight qualifies for the favor of God. And so I release it in the house and pray no one will leave here tonight without knowing that that's part of them and it's flowed through every fiber of their being. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, over to Chris.
All right. Well, it's lovely to see you all here tonight. I'm very glad you've made it a priority. I just want to say, if you're a visitor here, well then what a great night to be here, because you are going to hear a little bit about, a lot about who we are, what makes us tick, and what we have in our hearts for the future. And I just hope that what you hear will inspire you, and you may think, I want this to be my home, because we really do welcome you, and we want you to find your place, and we're a great house. I want to thank you all for being great people. I want to thank you for all that you've done, everything that you contribute, all the time that you give, everything. You're just absolutely amazing. I love you to bits. And I'm glad that you're working in this with us. I also want to big up the ministry team. And you might say, well, yeah, you would, because you're on it. But yeah, I'm going to big up the ministry team, because I'll tell you what, we have, and you have, a most excellent bunch of people who are so diverse. We aren't a bunch of yes people. We actually battle it out, we talk it out, and I'll tell you what, the different streams of thought that come into the pot that allow us to get clarity of vision is absolutely astounding. Now, that doesn't make for an easy journey, because actually you do a lot of hard trying to understand. When somebody says something and you haven't a clue what they're talking about, what are you going to do? Are you just going to say, shut up? Or are you actually going to say, hang on a minute, let's figure this out? Because I've come from a different background, from Beth and from Jenny and others in the team. But I'll tell you what, we have an incredible bunch that bring to the table such a lot of diversity, and I want you to get behind them, and I know you do. Okay, we want to bring a visionary night tonight. That's why we've only done one song. This isn't about our time together in the sense of worship and what have you. This is a time of inspiration and getting you on board for what's ahead. And coming back to what I just said about the diversity of the team, we have battled it out for years over lots of things in the sense of tearing down what we felt needed to be torn down and things that we felt were superfluous to requirements, to the point that we said, you know what, we don't need this, we don't need that. And we've come to a place where we've said, enough tearing down, it's time to build. Now you might think, well, surely you could have done that ages ago. Well, Beth's doing a bit of a reconstruction of her house, and she will tell you that there are certain things that just have to be done. And you can't just say, oh, we won't bother with that, or we won't bother with this. You have to do it, because it's, you know, if you're going to put in a new drainage system, you don't do that after you've decorated. Yeah? So you do all your messy jobs first. Isn't that right? And then you build, and we're ready to build. So, as a leadership, there was things that we saw that we needed for this place. And, of course, we are teachable people. We are. And are you teachable? Good. That means that we can grow together, can't we? And we had identified some difficulties, and we're going to address them. And we recognize that we're very much an innovative leadership, and that's brilliant. But you know what innovators do? They go that far ahead, and they're running that fast, that sometimes they can actually be by themselves. And we don't want that to happen in this place. We love our innovatory passion and heart, but we want to make sure that we take everybody along the journey. So we recognize that we maybe need to just slow down a little bit, and we will always be an ice-breaking church. We will always be innovative. It's who we are, but there's also need to dock. The ice-breaking ship has always got to pull into dock. We've got to rest up, we've got to restock for further journey and provide more stability for those who want to get on board. We can be more clear about what we've come to understand so far, and we can have a certainty about what we've come to understand. And Jenny's going to touch on that a little later, so I'm not going to talk about that now. So, some people need more time to process information than others. That's true, isn't it? And an innovator might not need much time to process information because they grab it and run, but others need more time. And some struggle and actually resist, so they need a little bit more nurture to get them on the journey. And some people like to be taught how to think for themselves, but others like to be taught what to think and given firm instruction. And across the board in here, we've got all the different, and I am so dry, my mouth is sticking together, so just give me a minute. Oh, sorry about that. And across the board, in this place tonight, we've got people of very varied processing skills, the way they process information, and we want to make sure that we provide an environment for everybody to get on board and move with the same things. So we want to provide both. This isn't always easy for innovators, and we take it on the chin. Sometimes we don't think about those who are maybe slightly behind, and we're thinking, come on, hurry up. But it's true, we've got to learn how to bring people on the journey. So we want to be on the trail, but at the same time, we want to provide a stability for others. So we want to build a strong house and a strong people, where at any stage of the journey that we're on, our identity and our ethos is clear. Yes? Our ethos is clear and can easily be articulated, especially by our frontline influencers. We will always be unconventional by design. That's who we are. But we intend to put more structure around that unconventionality, and while still exploring, we will be very clear about what we've come to understand. Always knowing that there's more ahead. We do not have a dead, closed canon of revelation. God is still speaking, and we don't intend to settle for getting in a theological box that's often provided for people when they sort of go into a church and sign up and say, oh, I want to be part of your church. So they hand you a box and say, right, get in here and never get out. We are not doing that. We don't have a box, and we're never going to have a box, because I believe that the whole understanding of God is so vast and incredible that if we were trying to limit it in that way, we would just be fools to ourselves, wouldn't we? And we're not going to do that. So I believe that we've only glimpsed a very minute part of the vast character and nature of the one we have come to know as the Abba of Jesus. Now, wouldn't you agree with that? We've only just glimpsed, and often when we sort of come to know God, we have this sort of, oh, well, you know, we let him into our hearts, or whatever the phrase is, and we say, well, that's it now, that's the end of that. But actually, we've only just begun an incredible journey, and we want to make sure that we never settle for a religious, institutionalized message that doesn't have any life attached to it. And we in this church are never going to let that happen, and I hope you're glad about that. Okay, so having said that, we have to then say, well, okay, what we're going to do about it. Now, for many years, we have, like I said, we've been tearing down a lot of the things we felt were superfluous to requirement, and very much made what we were doing on a Saturday night very much part of that process, making sure that we were constantly being outward focused and very much innovative. And we really feel now that we've got to separate or make a clear differentiation between Saturday night and Wednesday night. And that's why tonight we have called this Our House, because we've moved from ComLife, which used to stand for Communicating Life, to Our House. Now, why have we called it Our House? And I just have another drink, I'm sorry. Why have we called it Our House? Well, do you know what I like? I like the idea of saying to somebody, do you want to come to our house on Saturday? What do you do when you invite somebody to your house? You want them to sense family, care, nurture, relaxation, just inclusivity. And we just felt what a wonderful progression for what we are, but to call it Our House. So Saturday will be Our House. And Wednesday we will call, we've had a very varied bunch of stuff for a while, but we're actually going to now become the lab. Now, the reason why we're going to call it the lab is because that's where all of the experimental science will take place, all the digging, all the questioning, all the stuff that some of you find scary, but actually without it, the rock doesn't exist. Because what we get on a Saturday, ultimately, is only the result of what we do on a Wednesday. And we're asking questions, we're figuring things out, and like I say, we are reclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ. We're not satisfied with just something we've been handed down, but we are reclaiming it. So, this is what I want to just say about that. Getting to the finished article of anything is a process, isn't it? And it's not always an easy one. And I want to give you just 3, I think they're called analogies, but I'm not really good at English, so Jenny will tell me if I've got it wrong. I want to give you a few analogies to help explain what I'm talking about between our house and lab. So first, I want to give you this one. Hospital versus laboratory. So listen to this. A hospital is an amazing place. It's where you can go and be healed, hopefully. Hopefully, yeah? We all love the idea of a place where we can receive something that makes us all better. But without the lab, the hospital cannot function and become the healer it's meant to be. Unless there is a lab that is constantly testing and approving the drugs and therapy to give to people, then it just could not be sustained. Isn't that the truth? So that's what we're going to say. The lab is what Wednesdays is going to be. Is that a good analogy? Do you get it? Okay. Second analogy. Dress versus pattern. Catwalk versus design room. See, the catwalk is the wow of the fashion industry. But the dress cannot get to the catwalk before it's gone through the making process. The sewing room is where the hard work starts. It decides what the finished article will look like, its length, its color, its flow, its trend, its appeal. I'm a sewer. I can look at a pattern and it doesn't bother me at all. But some people look at a pattern and they just can't remotely see the finished article by looking at a pattern. But you see, Wednesday is going to be the sewing room. Does this help? This is the analogy. Third analogy. Delicious meal versus food preparation. Tonight, you'll be served up the most delicious grub after this session. Yeah? Are you excited? Okay, let me just lick my lips again. If you had been in my kitchen at 5 o'clock this morning, I am not sure you would have been impressed. Raw meat, bloody, slimy, oily hands, trying to get 48 pounds of meat in my oven wasn't a pretty sight. But you're going to love the finished article. Pulled pork sandwiches and all the trimmings you're going to enjoy. Why? Because somebody else prepped it. Do you get it? Right. Wednesday will be the kitchen. Yeah? Are you getting this? Okay. Which brings us then to Saturday night. Saturday will be our wow. It will be the catwalk. It will be where the dress is paraded. It'll be the place where the table is spread, where you can enjoy the delicious food. It'll be the hospital where you can come and get whatever it is that you need to fix your brokenness or your struggle in life. That's what Saturday will be. And we want you to come to our house with that in mind. Do you see the difference? Now, you might say, oh, well, then Wednesday's not for me. You must be kidding. Because I'll tell you what, the thing that most believers, and I use that word rather than Christian, people who profess to have a belief, what they do, they believe certain things and they stop. Rather than saying, do you know what? Am I getting the best out of this? And in this house, we want to have a Christianity that is worth not only dying for, but living for. And in everything that we do with our friends, our family, we want to be able to say, I believe this, not just because I was handed it by my family and therefore that's what I've always been. We want to believe it because it's tried, it's tested, it's tasted, and it's also worn. Do you get worn, the dress? Is this making sense? And so I'm encouraging you all to not think, oh, well, Wednesday isn't for me. It's going to be very much like a lecture time, and you'll hear about this later. Because we know that some people are afraid of being put on the spot and asking questions, but some people just love to listen and let what's been said sort of wash over their hearts and they think, whoa, that's a new idea. Oh, I'll have to think about that. So if you come, you will be listening and you can put your questions on paper so you can bring them to us and then we can seek to answer them in a session. But that's how it's going to be. So, Saturday will be our wow, coming together to celebrate what we're sure of, to administer and receive the healing message we are sure will bring life and health to everyone, to parade the finished dress in all its designer glory, and savor the flavor of the delicious recipes that have been proven in the kitchen. And we'll keep reinforcing this and making opportunities for whosoever to connect and have life-changing moments. What do you think? Does that sound exciting? So if you come on a Saturday night, please don't expect to be challenged particularly with something that's been, like dug out of the ground like a new oil find or a new gold find. What we're going to do on a Saturday night is make sure you're confident of what we believe. On a Wednesday night, we're going to dig and dig and dig, and it's going to be great fun. You'll hear more about that later. But do not get the idea that somehow there is what's the word I'm looking for? An exclusiveness that says I can only be at one or the other. You are welcome to it all, and we want to take you all on this journey. And I hope that's inspired you. I'll pass over to Anne. Thank you.
That's right. Thanks, Chris. One of the things that's driven our thinking is that and I'll take personal responsibility I thought, and I think the others thought, that you would be happy given the space to figure stuff out and the freedom to come to your own conclusions. It's become very evident that the majority of you are not happy in that situation, but would rather be given conclusions and given beliefs that you feel that we as your leaders are convinced about, a bit like a shepherd leads the sheep to the pasture because the shepherd spotted the pasture, and if you left the sheep to find it on their own, they might not do it. So we're trying to address that for that reason, particularly on the Saturday night, so that we will be a little bit more definitive about what we have come to believe and have concluded, and hopefully you will be on the receiving end of blessing and help and healing, because there are two basic, if you simplify it, there are two basic kinds of people. Those who measure things by what they learn, and those who measure things by what they feel. Wednesday night tends to be, the main group tend to be people who measure things by what they learn. Our coming together on a Saturday tend to be more people who measure things by what they feel. I'm more of a by what you learn thing, so I'm a junkie for tell me something new, tell me something fresh. And that can put us, as Chris said, way out somewhere chasing this stuff. So we want to find the right balance, not just for you who are faithfully part of this house, but because we do want to grow this. We want to bless people. We want to give something to people, and we want to grow to the capacity that we are supposed to as a house. So we want to make this our primary purpose for that. And as Chris said, I want to emphasize that it's not an inclusive, exclusive exercise, because we'd love you to want to learn. We love you to want to know, because out of that comes strength and comes power. So we'd like you to try and be here Saturday and Wednesday. We'd definitely like you to try and be here Saturday. But if you are a person who thrives on one or the other, then I guess we're okay with that as well. So a couple of things I just want to do before the guys come and sing, and then Jenny can come and let you see where we're at with some statements that we've come to the part of our ethos. I don't know if you took time to notice that there were banners outside tonight. 50% of the men will not have noticed, okay? At least. It's like, which banners? Take a read. They'll be up there every Saturday because, again, that's declaring what we know, how we're welcoming, and it really declares why we're saying welcome to our house. And I'm going to talk about the pull-up a chair a little bit later. But before the guys come to sing, we thought it would just be good, just maybe to clarify simply to you what I would like you to feel you can expect of us as leaders, and to reciprocate that by what we as leaders would like to feel we can expect of you. So this is not complex. I never really like this stuff because you can design all these words and sound really brilliant, and it doesn't make a scrap of difference. But I hope this does. So let me just run you through it. Okay, what you can expect of us. And this is particularly in the context of our Saturday night. A clear voice expressing in ways that can be understood and adopted the beliefs and objectives that we currently hold. I can't guarantee that we won't change, but we're going to try to get through to you in a way you can adopt and understand those beliefs and objectives so we can be blessed. The second one is a visible commitment of the free self to uphold the beliefs and objectives we currently hold. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. One of the things we've emphasized is personal freedom. Jesus came to set us free. However, some of you have taken that not just to be freedom, but to be self-centered and self-absorbed. Or in other words, I will only do what suits me. I will only turn up when I want to. I will only help if I feel like it. That is the freedom of self taken to a wrong extent that is not the Jesus self. Now, we want you to be free. We wanted to free you as people. We want you to know that you are free. But what we want to do is take that free self and have a commitment to uphold the beliefs and objectives that we currently hold, and to participate in the outworking of those in a selfless commitment. So we've come to freedom from all that junk that was on us. We know we're accepted and loved and forgiven and part of the whole thing, but then we have to make a selfless commitment to the good of those who are part of our house, that's all of you, and also to the community. One interesting little phrase on that, when people say to me, there are a lot of people missing this week what's happening, that's what the people who were here last week said when you were missing. Do you get what I'm saying? I need to repeat it. Have you got that one? Right? So if we're here and do the best of our ability, we're here, that doesn't happen and we move forward. So the last one, a decision to prioritize being present. I want to try and get an expectation of that of you. A decision to prioritize, because it is important. It's important for you and it's important for everybody else who might be around us. A decision to give, and in giving, it's the measure being this: equal sacrifice, not equal giving, because we can't all give the same, but we can all sacrifice equally. And joint ownership, that we all take ownership of what we are doing, every part of the vision, which equals partners and shareholders, not just attenders of the church, okay? And to serve, so the burden is shared and we all contribute in the building of the house and the blessing of others, okay? Not going to re-emphasize that much more. But this is what I would like to feel we can expect of you. A clear echo of the beliefs and objectives we currently hold. That's your job. To echo it, to grab it, grasp it, hold it, get it in your heart, and echo those values, and then the next two are exactly the same. Why? Because we think what we want to be as a leader, you should be as people, and as we do this together, holding these values, the truth is we will build the house, and we will be a blessing to others. So I hope your heart's stirred, and you'll kind of push yourself a little more to prioritize that we are going to build this house. We're going to thank God for the freedoms that we have embraced, that we don't have to. And we are going to move into a spirit of, because of that, we want to, and we will, and people will be blessed because of us. All right, guys, thank you.
There's no condemnation in this salvation. I'm free. The sin I was slave to now has no power over me. I don't deserve it, I have not earned it. It's your grace on me. And now my heart is free. I'm alive in Jesus. Your blood will speak of your love for all time. Grace for today and hope for tomorrow is mine. Jesus, your blood will speak of your love for all time. Grace for today and hope for tomorrow is mine. Jesus, your blood will speak of your love for all time.
Can you believe it?
Grace for today and hope for tomorrow is mine.
Come on, one more time.
Jesus, your blood will speak of your love for all time.
Grace.
Grace for today and hope for tomorrow is mine.
Don't deserve it.
I don't deserve it, I have not earned it. It's your grace on me. And now my heart is free. I'm alive in Jesus Christ. Then I know it's not 'cause of me. Jesus, your light has opened my eyes. I'm free. I'm alive in Jesus Christ. Then I know it's not 'cause of me. Jesus, your light has opened my eyes. I'm free. It's a celebration of your grace. A celebration of your with a song of love and a shout of praise. Celebration.
It's a celebration.
It's a celebration of your grace. A celebration of your grace with a song of love and a shout of praise. Celebration. I'm alive in Jesus Christ. Yet I know it's not kissing me. Jesus, your light has opened my eyes. I'm free. I'm alive in Jesus Christ. Yet I know it's not kissing me. Jesus, your light has opened my eyes. I'm
Good evening, everyone. I get the job of telling you about the wow, about the dress that we have been making for many years, about what we believe that looks like, which is brilliant for me, because I know that over the last however many years, I, like many of you, have had to question, what is the point of all this? I used to know what the story was. I used to know what I had to tell people to get them to believe what I believed. I used to know I was trying to save them from something terrible. I used to know what the words were to use. And I know that many of you have said to me, and I felt that, well, what are we doing now? And so just to be really clear, what we have come to understand is the point of what we are doing now is to very much make visible what we've called the Word made flesh. In other words, what does this life that we have found in Christ look like when we wear it? If we are called to be a body, what would that look like if we were to all live it out? And part of what we're doing now is not just trying to save people from this terrible thing. Some of you were raised with turn or burn. I mean, it's quite shocking now. But what about if what we're called to do every day is to be part of the restoration of all things? What if we wake up in the morning and we are a body who is going to be part of restoring all things? I think that's amazingly exciting. And so what we've done together is we actually sat down and thought, right, what are we sure of? What are we convinced about? What do we absolutely, completely, inside out know? And how could we convey that to you so that you can become convinced? I think when you see what I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes, you'll be like, yes, do you know what? I know that. Or if you don't know it, you're coming to learn it so that you can feel very safe and stable and secure in what we've come to understand together. Now, Chris read a couple of weeks ago something amazing about why coming together each week is so important. Because our time together is a weekly sacrament, a regular affirmation of the devotion and joy at the core of what we are building together. And what you are going to hear each week is the stuff that we know and are convinced about. And as we come together each week, that will promote a devotion to it, an echo of it, a joy in it, that is going to build something amazing if you're up for that with us, which we hope you are. So we're going to show you the things that we are utterly, absolutely convinced about. And the amazing Mr. Kevin Craven has contributed his mega talent to put it in a way that just looks brilliant. And we really trust that this is going to resonate with you, that it's going to be something that excites you, that you're going to see the wow, and that this will become something that you are equally convinced about and will make a very loud sound with us about, such that its echo will be very far-reaching and will build something amazing. So let's have a look. Thank you.
Wake up. Everyone is looking for a convincing story that gives them a sense of purpose. We have one. People are precious. Your life counts. You can thrive. When we know who we are, we know what to do. We believe in new beginnings and second chances, in a joy that overcomes, in a love that endures. We are participating in the restoration of all things. God is love. God is on your side. God keeps no record of wrongs. God is in you. Jesus reveals God's heart. Jesus offers us a revolutionary way of living that we are choosing to follow. We enter this sacred space through faith, hope, and love. Faith is your decision to place your belief and trust in the goodness and faithfulness of God. Hope is the confident expectation that the last word has not been spoken. Love is felt, received, and done. We have been to hell and back and found it's not there, and discovered heaven is where we begin. Welcome to our house.
It's a celebration of your grace, a celebration of your grace, with a song of love and a shout of praise. Celebration, it's a celebration, it's a celebration of your grace, a celebration of your grace, with a song of love and a shout of praise. Celebration. It's a celebration of your grace, a celebration of your grace, with a song of love and a shout of praise. Celebration. It's a celebration of your grace, a celebration of your grace, with a song of love and a shout of praise. Celebration. I'm alive in Jesus Christ, and I know it's not kissing me. Jesus, your light has opened my eyes. I'm free. I'm alive in Jesus Christ, and I know it's not kissing me. Jesus, your light has opened my eyes. I'm free.
Come on, if you believe it, give some noise. Come on, let's hear some noise. Yay, we believe it. Awesome.
Awesome. Something's happening, isn't it? I can absolutely feel it. Something is happening, and I am dead excited. It's our time. So welcome. How awesome so far tonight. Ace. Love it, love it, love it. So, if you are brand new with us tonight, welcome. We are so delighted and believing that actually tonight is just for you too. If you've chosen to be with us here tonight, and for everybody else, welcome too. Now, you'll have seen these cards, I hope, when you came through the door. Welcome to our house. Wonderful. On the back of them is the wake up text that we've just heard. So get that on your fridge or put that somewhere. Never mind having pictures that body shame you and tell you how rubbish you are. Get that on your fridge so you see that every day, just as a reminder of how ace you are. The other thing, though, is there's where it says pull up a chair, there's some details just to fill in. If you haven't done that, if you can do it now, because in a moment we're going to be taking the offering, it'd be great if we could just pop those in and just capture those, just so we've just got a handle on stuff and knowing who you are. It's not to stalk you, it's not to chase you, it's to include you just in stuff that's going on either by text or email. So please do that, that would be great. Okay, on that note, let's just get ready for our Pay It Forward. Now, Chris had spoke a little bit about it, and Anth had the screen up there about equal giving and equal sacrifice. Now, this is just how utterly ace God is. Even thousands and thousands of years ago, he knew the struggles that every single person has in terms of looking at the money that they've got and thinking, I've got that bill to pay, I've got that mouth to feed, I've got that to cover, I've got that to cover. And he recognised that all of us have that sort of everyday, I'm not going to say struggle, but choice in terms of where money goes. And he just, from the goodness and kindness of his heart, just said, I'll make it so simple. I don't want to say everybody has to give exactly the same, because the people who've got loads of money think, ka-ching, I'm in. And the people who have not so much money can feel quite resentful and feel very burdened. So God said, you know what, just to make it totally easy, why don't we just say 10% for everybody? So if you've got £1, if that's all you've got, you give me 10p and you see what I can do with that. If you've got £100, you give me a tenner and you see what I can do with that. And actually, it's not just about the equal sacrifice, it's as we give that 10p, or that £100 or that £1,000, whatever it might be, there's a connection in your heart faithfully to say, I trust you. I trust that you're going to use this to serve others, and I trust that you're going to still be faithful to me. So it's just a wonderful, kind, amazing principle, and it's a principle that we want to get behind. So that's what equal sacrifice is all about, and it's lovely and it's brilliant. So on that note, stewards, let's come on down to pay it forward. And as you put in, just say thank you for everything that you've got, and put in a prayer of hope that how that's going to be used is going to be used to really make a difference where God knows it needs to be made a difference. I'll just put those in there, please, James. Thank you. So you take that away. That's awesome. Okay, so Wednesday night. You've heard about Wednesday night, the lab. And on Wednesday, this is what we're going to discuss. Getting to grips with the Bible. What is this book? How has it become what it's become? Well, seriously, that is a question to be asked. Now, again, we've always billed Wednesday nights as a 7:30 start. For those of you who have come to previous Wednesday nights and previous reincarnations, what time does that actually mean we started? Right, 20 to 7:45. Now, I'll tell you why that happened. Because he was waiting for you. So he was being honourable to think, oh, they might be stuck in traffic. I'll wait a few more minutes. I'll wait a few more minutes. I'll wait a few more minutes and allow people to come, which is hugely honourable to you, but it's deeply disrespectful of us. So, starting this Wednesday, it's going to start at 7:30, okay? And if you're not in, you're not in. You're going to miss the start. And you know what it's like if you've missed the first few minutes on a film, you're stuffed. So, it's going to start at 7:30. If you are going to be a bit late, which I hope you're not, just creep in, etc. But now is the time for being honourable and respectful back, because what we're going to learn on a Wednesday night is going to blow minds, save hearts, and change lives. So who wouldn't want to be here on time? Okay, I'm nearly done. The prayer meeting on Monday is cancelled, but also on Monday we have got Chris Wright's funeral. It's going to be at 12 o'clock here. We want to sing and honour him home, and we want to be here for Betty, to show her and to honour her too, as she sends her son home. Yeah, it's going to be a wonderful, because he deserves it, and so do you. So do you. And so God is all over that detail like you wouldn't believe. So we would really love for you to be here just to honour Betty and to honour Chris. Next Saturday, Bob Nichols is going to be joining us, so that's going to be great. And finally, on the 16th of October, we've got that footy golf thing with the fellas, with Dave. So if you haven't sort of got that organised with Dave Farrimon, please do that. And that is it. Guys, take it away.
You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a
I just want to take a few minutes to talk to you about what is the core from which everything emanates in the context of us as a people and this as a house. There's a wonderful story of a young man who was born into privilege. His father was the son that would inherit, and his grandfather was actually the king. And in that environment of privilege, you would have thought that the life of this young man would be something to be envied, because our concept would be one of how perfect can it get. However, this young man one day had both his father and his grandfather tragically killed in a place where probably they shouldn't have been, doing something they probably shouldn't have been doing. And suddenly this boy, in the midst of privilege, finds himself having to deal with the loss of his father and his grandfather. You see, the issue is that the benefits of life do not protect us from the issues of life. And I often hear people tell me, particularly in church life, oh, I talked to this person, and so and so and so and so, but they're really okay, you know. Let me tell you something, nobody is okay. On the outward, you looked at this boy's situation, and it looked great. But underneath was all this grief, all this anxiety, all of this pain. And not only was that the case, but when the news that his father and his grandfather had been killed got back to the home where he was staying, he realized that in that context he was now very vulnerable, because we're going back now into history in the long off days in which the Bible was written. And so now his life, instead of being one of privilege, he now found himself something of a fugitive. And here's what the story says, that the nursemaid who was looking after him, the nanny, picked him up, realizing we need to get out of here, because where your father and your grandfather have been killed, those people might come looking for us. And as she was taking him out of the house, she stumbled and she dropped him. And he finished up disabled. He damaged his legs to the point where he was now crippled and could no longer walk. See, there are some wonderful issues to this story, which is not only is there nobody in the world who's okay, but all of us at some time, by someone in some situation, have been dropped. Whether you were dropped by a friend, dropped by a husband, dropped by a wife, dropped by a mother and father who you never felt really loved you and you could never do enough to please them, dropped by a company, dropped by a job, dropped by a friend, dropped by an establishment. And all of us, to some degree, may not be physically disabled, but every one of us, somewhere in the depths of our heart, our emotions, our psyche, our social existence, have suffered damage because somewhere we got dropped in life. The wonder about this story is that there was a guy called David, and David actually was the one who took the throne after this young boy's grandfather had been killed. And it was interesting, the story of David, the one who took the throne, because this boy's grandfather had always hated this boy David and had part of his life appreciated him, but then felt threatened and felt jealous, and then made every attempt that he could to kill David, to take David off the scene, to take him out of the picture. And so that's the situation that was happening there. And yet this David said, is there anybody left of the household of that king that I can be kind to? There's two things that it says. Is there anyone left of the house of Saul, who was the previous king, to whom I can show kindness for his son's sake, who was David's friend? And then another verse says, is there anyone still left of the house of Saul to whom I can show God's kindness? God's kindness. We all need help from outside our own ability and resources. Everybody does. I don't buy it that the community that we try to reach don't need anything that we're offering. I would say quite the opposite. The community that we're trying to reach need everything that we are offering. He got dropped, it left him damaged, wounded, disabled. I was watching the TV the other night with Chris, and I was watching a program on the SAS. Some of you know what the SAS is, the Special Air Service. That's our premium, undercover, secret part of the army that we send all over the world doing all kinds of things that you and I have no idea about. And in essence, they're very brave men, but they're trained killers. And one of these SAS soldiers was telling his story. He said, my mother left me at birth in a Harrods bag on the steps of a hospital. Now, some of you know, just because you're in a Harrods bag doesn't make that okay. It doesn't make it feel better because you got put in a Harrods bag. He probably had reasons for going into the SAS and killing people, you think? You think there might have just been a hint of need for fixing this because he got dropped. He got disabled. Not in his body, not in his feet, in his heart, in his life, in his mind, in his spirit. Left in. There are 1,000 stories like that you will never hear. Not necessarily as a baby left in a Harrods bag, but 1,000 stories of how people got dropped, how people got damaged, and how people need something beyond their own resources and ability to restore in their lives what it is that has been lost. I don't buy the outward mask. I look for what's going on in the heart. So this guy, David, asked where he was, and he actually had this boy brought to the palace and said to him, don't be afraid. He said 3 wonderful things that I share with you tonight. I will surely show you kindness. That's the first thing. How nice when you're not sure that anybody cares and you have to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and work out your own anger by beating somebody else to a pulp, or solve your own value by becoming self-centered and a huge success. How wonderful when somebody else says, I will surely show you kindness. That's the core of this house. He says, I will restore you. A lot of what our Saturday nights are going to be is showing you kindness and restoring you. He said this, and you will always eat at my table, a privileged place. But you see, it's more than just having a privileged place and being invited to eat at David the king's table. First of all, it meant that you were actually being treated like the king's son, not like some outsider, not like somebody that the wind blew in off the street, but actually somebody who belongs at the table that's been prepared for you. And it says he always ate at the king's table, even though he was crippled in both feet. But I want you to get the picture. This boy's crippled, and this is symbolic, okay? It's symbolic. He's crippled. That's where his damage has shown up. But the king in kindness invites him to come and sit at his table. Why does he do that? Because when we sit at the table, we all look the same. You can't see what's going on under the table. You can only see the person as they are. This is a table we come to that does not expose our disabilities, it covers our disabilities. And we are unified in receiving the provision that is on the table. Everybody gets the same. It's what's on the table, not what's under it, that becomes the focus of our attention and the goal of our being. And in this house, what we're going to call you to now, to our table, and why we want you to pull up a chair, is because it's not what's under the table that becomes our focus of attention, but it's what's on the table that is the goal of our being, to serve you. That's why this guy David wrote a psalm, a poem that you'll probably all be familiar with. He said, "You prepared a table for me in the presence of my enemies." But Jesus declared us his friends and prepares a table for us. Not in the presence of our enemies, but as the presence of his friends. And so before we come to share something, this is very important to where we're moving as a house. Jesus moves the epicenter of God's kingdom from the exclusivity of a temple to the inclusivity of a table. Jesus was not temple obsessed, he was table obsessed. He didn't end his life by saying, "Come on, boys, you've all got to come to the temple." He said, "Come on, boys, why don't you come and sit at the table?" Because when we're at the table, we all look the same. When we're in the temple, we don't, because it's an exclusive system that says unless you've washed this way, eaten this way, dressed this way, acted this way, you can only come so far. But at the table, there's no restriction. We get right to Jesus himself when we come to the table. His objective is not the rebuilding of the religious temple system, and nor is ours, but the establishing of a table celebration. And in that spirit, we invite you to pull up a chair. We empower you to invite the whole world to pull up a chair. We tell you that the gospel is a pull up a chair gospel, because the table is still set. It's still prepared. And whoever comes and eats, whoever comes and drinks, receives the very life of God himself, favoring you in a way that you could have never imagined. This was that young boy's response to David when he saw such kindness. "How can you show such kindness to me who is just a dog?" In other words, his view was, "I don't qualify. My grandfather tried to kill you. I'm not part of your family. I'm separate to you, but you have treated me as though I am your closest friend and your own child." The whole spirit that we are driving on of welcome to our house and pull up a chair is because we are setting a table at which we all look the same. And we invite you, if people can't pull up a chair for themselves, pull one up for them. And let them know, with all the hidden things, all the disabilities, all the things that happen to us because we were dropped, there is a table that we can sit at where there is no condemnation, we all look the same, but we receive a feast and we don't leave the same that we came. So the message changes from "Are you worthy?", which is the temple message, to "Pull up a chair, and if you can't, we'll pull one up for you." You need to know that in our forward momentum, we are here to bless and not to curse. You're not going to hear much bad news, if any at all. We are here to bless and not to curse so that you can also bless and not curse. So through our wake-up statements on the video, which you have seen, to our welcome statements on our banners, which 50% of the men will need to notice and then read as you go out, we are making clear our ground zero as a house from this point on. We are declaring the focal point and what emanates out from there. And so what better way could there be to bring our proceedings tonight to something of a conclusion, we're going to let you see the video again, than to invite you to come as best we can celebrate it to the table. And in doing that, we are going to share communion. You don't have to have been confirmed. You don't have to be the holiest person since Pope Paul. You don't have to have a sainthood. It's pull up a chair, right? Symbolically, as you come, whatever the disabilities, whatever the damage, whatever has happened to you, whatever has been the wounds of life, when you come to this table, we all look the same. And we all get the same, which means that in this bread there is life, and in this wine there is life. And when you receive it, you receive life. And so we're going to invite you to come tonight and be served. We're going to do it as quickly and as orderly as we can. Chris and I and Jenny are going to serve you the bread. And then when you've been served the bread, if you would like to take, it's not wine, it's juice. We didn't want to be in a position of anybody who's got some alcohol issues or whatever. So we've just provided juice. It's okay. Yeah, and if you are a gluten-free person, we even have gluten-free communion bread. How immense is that? So please, if you come, when you come, please tell us if you're gluten-free so we can serve you with the gluten-free bread. So what we will do when we begin is Chris is going to stand over here, and I'm going to stand in the middle, and Jenny's going to stand over here. And as we invite you to come, the stewards will help you. We're going to start on the left side over there and have you guys come. The stewards are going to help you. And then when you've come by, we'll do the same thing, but we're sort of having a one-way system. So if the stewards are sending you that way, they're not telling you to go home. Okay? What they're doing is telling you to go through the back so you can come back up this side, or here, through the back so you can come back up that side, or here, through the back down the side there so you can come up this side. That will just help the flow so we don't have masses coming and masses going back all at once. Is that clear? Okay? So on this side we'll start where Claire is, here we'll start here, and there we'll start where Graham is. And then as you come, we want to speak a blessing over you as we give you the bread. And then, as I've said, I'd like to invite you to drink the juice, the wine, the symbol of the wine, right where they are, and you can put your glass back or whatever. I don't care. Take it home if you. We really just want you to be blessed, and just want you to receive. Now, here's what I would like to believe, that as you come and receive, you are affirming what we have declared tonight. That's your affirmation. I myself am coming to the table. I am pulling up a chair in our house, believing that the blessing of God is upon me, that my damage, whatever's damaged, is under the table, that we look the same, but as I come and receive, the life of God is going to touch my life. The life that Jesus promised. This is the bread of life. And this is wine of a new promise. That's the thing. Jesus said it's a new covenant. That means a new promise. Some of you like a new promise to explode in your life. When you drink this juice, Jesus said this declares that you believe there is a new promise in your life as well. So we're going to receive that. And as we do it, we will bless you. And the guys are just going to play gently because he's a good, good father. That's who he is. Okay, we're not resting on David's act today. The Bible calls Jesus great David's greatest son. We're resting on what Jesus did, because what David did was for one person at one time in one place. But what Jesus did was for all people, for all time, in all places. But we come, and as we receive, we are blessed and we are restored and we are released. So we want to invite you to come, and the stewards will help us, and we'll serve you and bless you. And then we'll tell you how we're going to finish up. All right, Pete, you can start and come in.
You're a good, good father. It's who you are.
You guys behind you.
It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. In all of your ways, you are perfect in all of your ways. Come on, let's all just stand up. Come on, Joel. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways to us. Sing that again. You're perfect. Good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are.
So pull up a chair. Welcome to our house. I'm going to show you our promo video one more time, and then you're very welcome to stay and slowly make your way through, not everybody at once, into the back. We've got a very non-Jewish celebration with pulled pork sandwiches and some weird stuff for people who don't eat meat that I'm not even going to try and get the net. Is that what they call it? Falafel. And I think also some gluten-free for our Steve, who we love very much. So be blessed. Have one more look at it. Get it into your spirit. Read the stuff at the front. And let's all move forward and become all that we're supposed to be.
Wake up. Everyone is looking for a convincing story that gives them a sense of purpose. We have one. People are precious. Your life counts. You can thrive. When we know who we are, we know what to do. We believe in new beginnings and second chances. In a joy that overcomes. In a love that endures. We are participating in the restoration of all things. God is love. God is on your side. God keeps no record of wrongs. God is in you. Jesus reveals God's heart. Jesus offers us a revolutionary way of living that we are choosing to follow. We enter this sacred space through faith, hope, and love. Faith is your decision to place your belief and trust in the goodness and faithfulness of God. Hope is the confident expectation that the last word has not been spoken. Love is felt, received, and done. We have been to hell and back and found it's not there, and discovered heaven is where we begin. Welcome to our house.
Thanks for watching. You can find out more about all The Rock is doing locally and internationally at www.rockofyork.co.uk. If you consider yourself part of our growing global community, then why not support The Rock from wherever you are? Just hit the donate button on our homepage to help us help others.